Hi there, welcome to this month's market update. So I'm going to reflect in this update on what was a very busy March for reasons which I shall tell you. And then we can look at what that busyness might mean for the market coming in the months ahead. As always, before I get into this video, hit the like button. It really does help us out, and why not subscribe to our channel as well. So let's reflect back on a very busy March, not just for Manning Stainton, but across the whole of the market. And I'll give you some stats in a moment to bring that to life. So as most of you will know, March was a month where the stamp duty thresholds reverted back to their original level. And that created, as we expected it would, a huge surge in activity of people looking to try and get their deals done, their deals over the line. Now, the thing for us was whether or not that in itself would create a surge in activity behind, because let's be honest, people who hadn't done their deals by March, they weren't going to be hitting that stamp duty deadline. So 75% more deals got over the line, exchange contracts in that month for us than in the year previous. But what did that mean for the rest of our stats? Well, let's bang some graphs up on the screen and you will be able to see that that surge in activity on the back end of transactions also was happening on the front end, as in sales agreed as well. So sales agreed across the market, and you can see that from the stats from 20A, this is whole of market data, were 15% up on where they were last year. And that is a big change between March 2024 and March 2025. I'm not going to put the listing stats up there, but listings were actually really flat over that same period. So more properties selling, less properties coming to market, which of course means the number of properties left for sale also coming down. And you know from past market updates, if you've been watching me, where that is going to lead. And of course, that all means that prices will start to go up. And we predicted that at the start of the year, and there's lots of evidence to say that that is happening. So let's just reflect for a moment on what that does look like. So Rightmove, they saw that the market had increased so far this year by about 2.1%. Halifax and Nationwide, they're pegging the market at between like 3 and 4% increase. The Land Registry, the source of truth, they're only up to December so far, but they're actually seeing about a 5% increase so far this year. So the predictions that we made at the start of the year of a 4 to 6% increase in prices seems to be where we are going. We might even do a little bit better than that, certainly within some localities. I'm sat here in a busy suburb of Headingley. We expect markets like this to perform very well. We're also looking out to the east corridor of Leeds as well. So much development going on out there, and that definitely is another market that needs to be watched. But what does all this mean for the market in the next few months? Well, we weren't expecting the number of sales to be agreed in March that were. We thought it would be a very similar month to the same time last year. So that surge in activity is telling us something, even with all the noise that's going on around us. So listen to the media at the moment. It seems like the world is going to pot. We've got conflicts going on across the globe. We've got economic uncertainty, because of what's happening across in the US and our own government's policies. And honestly, if you listen to the media, you'd think, how could the property market still be moving? But that just isn't the case. And I think people have got used to just almost blocking out that horrible noise that we hear all too often and just looking at their own personal situation. And so how does that translate? Well, again, if you go back to previous updates that I've done, let's just look at the basics, the very simple factors. We have a growing population, so too many people. We are not building enough property. The government are talking all the time about how they're going to unlock planning, but it's not happened yet. And we have banks and mortgage lenders who are willing to lend and lend at competitive rates. So when you put those three factors together, that is going to continue to drive the market in the way that we're seeing. It's going to continue to allow people to make their next property purchase, and critically, it is going to mean that prices are going to keep going up, certainly for the foreseeable future. So to find out, as always, if I'm right or wrong, you're going to have to stay in touch with us through these updates. I'll always give you an honest view of what is happening out there in the property market. If you're thinking about moving in 2025, give us a shout. We're available 8 a.m. till 8 p.m, 7 days a week. We'd love to talk to you about how we can help you move. Thank you so much for watching.